Commander Zixthera surveyed the human settlement through her tactical visor, her four eyes gleaming with predatory satisfaction. The small colony of New Haven sprawled across the valley floor like wounded prey, defenseless, primitive, and utterly doomed. Behind her, 1,000 Kethmori warbeasts pawed the ground impatiently, their razor-sharp claws leaving gouges in the alien soil. "Pathetic," she hissed through her translator. The humans had barely 6 months to establish their foothold on Kepler 442b, and their ramshackle structures looked like they'd collapse in a strong wind. "Ready the assault formations. We end this before the next moon rises." The Kethmori warbeasts were the pride of the Zephyrian military, each one standing 12 feet tall, with armored hides that could deflect plasma rounds and jaws capable of crushing titanium. They had conquered 17 worlds in the past decade alone. These soft-skinned humans would be nothing more than an afternoon's entertainment. Down in New Haven, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the alien forces gathering on the ridge through her binoculars. Her weathered hands remained steady despite the impossible odds arrayed against them. Beside her, Mayor Jackson Reeves nervously adjusted his collar. "Sarah, we've got maybe 300 civilians against 1,000 of those things. Our weapons barely scratched their scouts last week." Chen lowered her binoculars, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Jackson, you're thinking like a soldier. I'm thinking like an engineer." She gestured toward the seemingly empty valley floor between the settlement and the alien forces. "Human beings have been setting traps since we figured out how to sharpen sticks. We just needed to scale up a bit." The Zephyrian assault began at dusk exactly as Chen had predicted. Commander Zixthera led from the front, her war cry echoing across the valley as 1,000 warbeasts charged down the slope in a thunderous stampede. Their roars shook the ground, and their eyes glowed like crimson stars in the gathering darkness. The first trap activated when the leading warbeasts hit the valley floor. What had appeared to be solid ground suddenly gave way, revealing a network of camouflaged pit traps. But these weren't simple holes, they were engineering marvels. The colonists had used their mining equipment to create a honeycomb of interconnected tunnels, each one precisely calculated for maximum effect. 50 warbeasts plunged through the false surface, but instead of landing on spikes, they found themselves in frictionless polymer-lined tubes that funneled them into collection chambers deep underground. Their massive claws, so effective in combat, found no purchase on the slick walls. Their roars of fury turned to confusion as they slid helplessly through the tunnel system, like massive, angry marbles. Commander Zixthera snarled and ordered the remaining forces to spread out, avoiding the obvious trap zones. But Dr. Chen had anticipated this response. As the warbeasts moved to flank the settlement, they triggered the second layer of her defense. Motion sensors activated, and suddenly the valley floor erupted with 1,000 tiny explosions, not bombs, but compressed air cannons that launched sticky polymer nets. The nets had been designed using spider silk proteins synthesized in the colony's biolabs, each strand stronger than steel cable. The more the warbeasts struggled, the tighter the nets became. 200 more aliens found themselves hopelessly entangled, their own strength working against them as the bioengineered fibers constricted with each movement. "Impossible," Zixthera roared, watching her forces being methodically neutralized without a single human weapon firing. "They're just primitive tool users." The remaining warbeast pressed forward, now climbing the valley walls to avoid the trapped floor. This activated Chen's third surprise, a series of carefully placed sonic emitters that she'd positioned during the previous months. The devices produced frequencies specifically calculated to disrupt the Kethmori's inner ear balance. As the powerful aliens scrambled up the slopes, the sonic assault hit them like an invisible wall. Their superior strength meant nothing when they couldn't tell up from down. Warbeasts tumbled from the cliffsides, landing in carefully positioned impact-absorbing gel pods that had been camouflaged as ordinary bushes. The few dozen warbeasts that managed to reach the settlement's perimeter triggered the final layer of Chen's masterwork. The buildings themselves were the trap. Their walls were lined with smart glass that could instantly shift from transparent to mirror reflective. As the warbeasts charged the structures, they suddenly found themselves staring at their own reflections from every angle. The psychological effect was devastating. Kethmori warbeasts were apex predators, but they were also intensely territorial. Confronted with what appeared to be rivals surrounding them on all sides, they turned on each other in confused fury, their pack instincts completely overwhelmed. Within an hour, Commander Zixithera found herself alone on the valley floor, surrounded by nearly 1,000 of her own forces, all captured, contained, or incapacitated without suffering a single serious injury. Dr. Chen emerged from the settlement, flanked by a handful of colonists carrying basic stunners. She approached the alien commander with the same calm demeanor she'd displayed throughout the entire engagement. "Commander," Chen said through her own translator, "I believe we need to discuss terms for your force's release." Zixithera stared at the human female, her alien features twisted in bewilderment. "How we are the apex predators of 17 worlds. How did you defeat us without fighting?" Chen adjusted her glasses, a gesture that somehow managed to be both humble and supremely confident. "Because, Commander, humans don't win through strength or speed or natural weapons. We win because we think. We observe. We prepare. And most importantly, we cooperate." She gestured toward the valley where teams of colonists were already beginning the careful process of releasing the trapped aliens. Every person in this settlement contributed to this defense system. The miners who dug the tunnels, the biologists who engineered the nets, the programmers who calibrated the sonic emitters. We don't fight as individuals. We fight as a species. As the alien commander was led away to join her forces in temporary containment, she couldn't help but wonder what other surprises these seemingly primitive humans might have prepared for the galaxy. The day humanity's traps outwitted 1,000 alien warbeasts would become legend, but for Dr. Sarah Chen, it was just another Tuesday on the frontier, a day when human ingenuity proved once again that the smartest predator isn't always the strongest one.